it's on anyway. Yep, it's just gone live. Yay! And I don't have to cut out the first minute of the show this week. That's lovely.
What, because we were just rambling?
No, because reasons. It doesn't matter.
Cool.
It wasn't you guys. So, small caveat. I know. What was I going to say? The Twitch account is now affiliate, which means people can subscribe. But I've not had time this week to prepare a celebration-y event, so I'm just kind of playing it as a normal stream, really. And then hopefully next week I'll make more of a big deal about it. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Well, if we're going to celebrate, we should do it with the whole crew here.
Yeah,
Since
I
we're
mean,
only down to 3 members.
Chances of full crew minimal. Oh, right. So, how are we all?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. It's weird week, but good.
Marvellous.
We're playing Iron Kingdoms.
That is a big bonus. Like,
Yeah,
any day gets straight away better.
yeah. There is that.
So, as I remember last week, you guys took on and killed a warlock, and not just some little half-hearted rat warlock, but a full warlock.
We didn't have that big a battle room.
Well, that was it was
I
intentional.
remember a slightly different story. I remember Mercer soloing the warlock while the rest of us just cheered and clapped him on from the sidelines.
Yeah, that did happen.
I genuinely didn't expect to do that.
Just accept that you're the champion of the arena and leave it at that.
That's why I'm really keen to get Desperate Pace. Just fire the Murtaugh rocket.
I mean, that's not terrible.
I am expecting the rock to fall at some point.
Oh.
It's getting quite bad.
You say rocks fall. Just out of coincidence, that is my my first emote. There it is, rocks fall.
Woo!
So I'm quite pleased with that one. And you can't really read the text that say rocks fall very well. I might redo it. I don't know. At the moment, I'm leaving it as it is. But yeah, so we have the 3 of you here right now, yes?
Yes. This time, shall we introduce each other's characters?
No, always introduce your own character.
Yeah.
So we'll go first with Konstantin.
Konstantin Gerasimov, Captain, Kadoran, Aristocrat, and Military Officer.
An all-round fun guy.
That's a strange way to say manite.
Then we have Adele.
Adele, speak only when you have something nice to say, or don't speak at all. At least when you're impressing a dead voice inside your head. Also, Tharamite.
And then finally today, Murta.
Murta hails from Crix and apparently champion of the arena, according to the other fellows here. But yeah, he likes stabbing things.
Fantastic. And I will be, as of course of always, piloting Balasar, who is our friendly neighbourhood trollkin with a giant axe, who sometimes is off screen doing nothing. Yeah, so...
No, we agreed. He was totally fighting the rest of those wolves that never got to turn up.
Yes, he was.
100 of them.
There was thousands of them. It was like a scene from an anime. You become a whirlwind dash of blades and did fight all the wolves. Anywho, so you guys last week managed to take down the warlock. You killed its ward. You prevailed. And more importantly, you survived.
Just in some cases.
Yes.
Hey, I've got hit points.
Yeah, now you have. But I can guarantee you that when everybody else goes, oh, should we just head straight back? You'll be like, can we have a rest first?
No, I'll totally go with them. I'll just lie in the cart, occasionally knocking out the wolf that I've nicked.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I forgot to mention, so you have captured a dusk wolf.
Yeah.
Yes. I had a little think about that, and Murta looks at the dusk wolf and thinks, these shackles won't hold it once it's conscious, because it doesn't have wrists.
I know.
These shackles kind of rely on things having wrists.
Hey, you can totally shackle things by their ankles.
Yes, you can, but not when they're a wolf.
Yeah,
so
I'll just have to keep
while
braining it.
While it's unconscious, you're fine.
Yeah.
Just letting you know that you do not have the appropriate tool for the job, shall we say.
And this is where I start looking for rope.
We have rope. You got some in your backpack, haven't you?
Not unless I get some as just like a natural part of things. I know you get a backpack as a normal thing.
You don't get free rope.
Cool.
No free rope
no.
for you.
I do not have rope.
I'm pretty sure someone in the party will have rope.
Adele might have some for his grapple gun. Whether or not he's actually prepared to lend that to Murta is another matter.
Yeah,
Not
I'll
when
end up
Murta's
smelling
gonna
all
be chopping it
wolfy.
into bits.
Exactly.
It'll smell wolfy, and Murta would end up having to say, "We have woodsmen."
Yes. So I'm incredibly curious as to what the scroll Adele looted from the corpse actually says.
You can't read it.
Does it smell or taste or feel of any kind of magic at all?
When you say taste, in what sense?
Allegorical.
Which means...
I'm assuming that magical items have some kind of aura or something,
yeah.
and being a gifted user, Adele would use his various senses. If you're asking if he literally puts it in his mouth, then no.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I thought he was going to be like licking the ink.
Yeah, that's way more interesting. Not gonna
He's
lie.
still a nobleman.
Is he though?
Yes, he is.
So you aren't sure. I mean, you can make... Actually, no. I want you to roll for things. This is an RPG, damn it. Roll an arc roll.
Okay.
Sometimes I forget what we're actually sat here doing.
Yeah. And it's
Everything looks full.
totally a thing in the Unleashed book.
totally a thing in
And
this.
that's a 12.
You think that it's certainly possible that it's magical.
Okay.
You want to keep it, I would
I
imagine.
do want to keep it.
Not going to let
Yes.
anyone else have it, are you?
Would anyone else like to have it?
Well, this is...
Devourer scum. No.
I was just about to say, you have a member of the party who was very opposed to Devourer-based things.
Also, we're on session 15 now, I believe.
Yeah?
If you give me a second, check in my thingy.
Well, the last one I have noted down as 14, and the one before that 13, so maybe. Unless my calculations are off.
The 20th was session 11, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, we're on session 15.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so can I roll another arc roll to see if the I'm not even sure how to describe this. The halberd made from a spine.
Yep.
Currently with the head of the druid?
Yep.
Question mark? That's a 13.
Okay, so looking at this halberd and its construction, you said you rolled a 13?
That's correct.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. So you think, based on what you know and your abilities, you believe that this could have been a sacral weapon?
Sorry, what weapon?
Sacral.
Ah.
So empowered by a ritual and gains magical properties based on that. So in the hands of anyone but the person that performed the ritual, it's just a fancy looking halberd.
Okay.
It's got blood on it.
Well, it's currently got the head of its previous owner on it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yes, I thought it was very poetic. We need to find a gate.
Constantine is not okay with this, but carry on.
Constantine cut his head off. What are you expecting Adele to do with it if not mount it?
Conflicted about that.
Okay, so Adele is going to do the job of Murta and look through the pockets, since Murta has more pressing wolf matters to attend to.
Like, just going around various woodsmen going, have you got any rope?
Okay, fair enough. So
Yes.
Murta's asking for rope, and Adele's looking through the robes of the dead druid. Murta, you find a woodsman that has rope. You now have rope.
Awesome. I'm going to make a rope use roll.
Yep, okay.
Been a while since I've done that, considering it's like one of the main things about my character.
Go for it, sir. 17, okay. Yeah, so looking into the robes of this druid, you find some stone tablet with various runes carved onto it. They look fairly similar to the markings on the scroll that you found. Okay.
Okay, I've just noted that down.
You find some dried meat.
Oh, Murta! Would your
opening the
new
pack.
puppy like a snack? Look, here, I have procured some meat.
I will take the meat.
Yeah, you will.
Oh dear.
Never let it be said that I don't think of you, Mr. Murta.
As you hand him your meat.
Murta may or may not be used to handling meat. You will never know. But yes, anyway,
This is such a facepalm moment.
yeah. So
Well, you
Murta
all
has taken your
contributed to
meat.
it, so...
Yeah. So Murta takes the meat. And how much meat?
About 2 handfuls.
Okay.
Like a pack of jerky, essentially.
I have a pack of jerky. Great.
Yeah, man. These things are, the really important items. So, what else did you find? Did you do a detection roll on this guy? Or did you just look in his robes?
I got a 13 for my detection.
Okay, well, that's pretty good.
And
So
I also got a 10 for the stone tablet to see if that's magic too.
10 for the stone tablet. You don't think so?
Okay.
So you also find some bits of bark, like tree
I'm
bark.
sorry, bits of what?
Bark.
Oh, bark.
Tree bark.
Okay.
Okay. These are in a pouch, and some roots. You find some bark, some roots, and some tubers, and some dried leaves. And from that detection roll, you also find a dagger.
Okay. Is it steel? Is it stone? Is it...
It's a stone dagger.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to do another roll. And that's a 14. I don't expect that it's magic.
You don't think
Doesn't
that it's
hurt to
magic?
try. Okay. Does it seem like it's a dagger used for ritual sacrifice?
Quite likely.
Okay. Alright, I am going to call over to Mr. Murta, and I'm going to open up the pouch, and this is what I'm going to say to him. Mr. Murta, you're from around these parts. Now, I know you're not much of a woodsman from what you've said, you're a city boy, but do you recognize any of these?
I look in the pouch of roots and tubers and bits of wood and go, nope.
Wonderful, wonderful. I wonder if our resident trencher would know. But he's not from around here. Maybe an apothecary. Oh, Captain! My Captain! The thing there with the head on.
Yes?
The pointy stick. I suspect that it might have been used in some sort of, shall we say, horrific ritual. Shall we dispose of it?
Well, I certainly want nothing to do with it.
You're good with fire. Shall we build a pyre and ritually burn them?
When we can find a place where it's not going to set the whole water alight.
Yes. Yes, that's a good idea.
But I don't like keeping around any of that Devourer stuff.
Well,
No.
over there is a cliff. You could just burn it against the cliff.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Cool.
Yep.
Wonderful. Maybe you'd like to say a few words for the deceased.
A deceased Devourer worshipper. No.
Burn in hell, you son of a bitch.
There you go.
Enjoy the void.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
So with that, Adele uproots the halberd with the head, takes it to the cliff, and then he grabs one foot of the body, looks at Murta, and begins to pull.
I guess I help him drag a body over to a pyre to burn.
Okay, so
and then go back to look after my wolf.
are you using the wood from the broken carts, or what, are you cutting down trees?
I believe the trees would be green, so probably not.
Well, let's use the stuff from the broken carts, and while we're at the broken carts, I'll just have a ferret through, see if there's anything interesting. I'm pretty sure Riker's already had a look, but...
He did, yes. So, detection roll, please.
Yeah.
Since Adele is going to be with Murta, might as well.
Marta, you find a rifle under the seat of one of the carts.
Neat. Cool. A rifle. Just normal rifle or any particular
normal
kind of... Normal rifle. Cool. Neat. Our armory has gained a new weapon.
So while Adele prepares the pyre,
Yep.
he's going to keep the stone dagger and keep the stone tablet and keep the scroll, and burn the halberd. And Adele has taken it into his mind that since he's collecting trophies from various things like the mechanical thrall and which Mercer doesn't know about, and now from this warlock druid, he's going to open up a museum in Five Fingers, Adele's curios.
Okay. So, when Constantine said he didn't want anything to do with it, was he fine with other people taking stuff, or was it just he didn't want it?
Constantine is averting his eyes. He's not taking any interest in it. He's just... They get on with it. He can...
He's in his own thoughts at the minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So, anyone doing anything else while he's starting another fire?
I at least
Wait, that's
supervised him
phrased.
starting this. I at least supervised him starting this one.
Yeah.
I've realised that I'm probably not going to be able to drag this wolf around, so I'm probably going to see if Balazar will bring our cart over to put the wolf in.
Balasar looks to you and says, "You want me to go all the way back to the loggers' camp and somehow manage to get it through all the inhospitable terrain of the forest?"
I thought we'd brought it with us because the jack wasn't activated until...
Nope, Jack was
this
walking
morning.
the entire way, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Jack was...
Oh, you just
Jack was
turned it off in the
deactivated at
camp.
night time.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't drive a cart through the forest the way you came. Presumably, there is some way, because there is a cart here, but you don't know it.
And they're all destroyed.
Yes, they are all destroyed.
I'm going to just... Okay. I
could
guess I
check
need to work out... Yeah, I'll go and poke to see if any of the carts are, like, able to be hodgepodge together into something I can pull this wolf along in.
Yep.
Because I don't trust it. I don't trust it yet.
So I would like a woodworking roll, please.
I don't have that, so
So-
that's intellect.
Intellect, then, please.
Yeah.
You are
I will
baffled.
spend a feat point to re-roll it.
Okay, 11's fair. You are quite annoyed that a majority of the cart is now burning in a pile against the cliff.
Yeah. Didn't think about that. That's my own fault. Murder's just kind of muttering to himself. Then starts looking at the warjack. Captain,
Yes.
do you reckon that can carry a wolf and not hurt it?
Almost certainly can carry it. Not hurting it. Guess warjacks get pretty hot.
What about some sort of litter, for when we have wounded soldiers on the battlefield? We could lop some branches off and bind them together and stick the wolf on that.
I like that idea.
Right, so based on the rough idea, it would be possible for you to create, using 2 of the wheels and the flat bed of one of the destroyed wagons, you could fashion together a slab that the warjack could drag behind it.
Neat. I will go about starting to try and do that and see if Balazar knows how to do this better than me.
Balasar will roll. Hi, Balasar.
Would Constantine be able to help since he knows about medicine and
Medicine is not really
pulling
great
people
for
off?
gluing wood together. So he's going to do a strength roll to smash all the wood together. And he did fine. So the contraption is made.
Cool. If I've got any rope left over, I'm going to use that to help kind of sure it up.
There is enough rope in amongst the
Fabulous.
woodcutters and things like that. In fact, they help once they see the nonsense that's going on.
Just because they're like, we just want to go back to camp and these guys are just being weird.
Yep.
Adele addresses the woodcutters and says, "Okay, men, if you have anything that you want to say about your fallen comrades and their murderer, now is the time to say it. As our captain has said, burn in the void. So have at it, chaps. Have at it."
So the woodsmen are basically huddled around in a bit of fear because of the whole thing that's been going on. One of them says, "Was there any sign of the rest of the scouts?"
Yeah. There was a. You're not going to like it because they're all over there, and maybe we need to get them back for burial. I don't know. I kind of look at the boss man at like the Cadoran woodsman dude.
He says, "Where are they? I haven't seen them yet."
So, to clarify, Tom, we are on the front screen, not in the wood.
Oh,
section,
my
so-
apologies.
Yeah.
I thought I'd moved you onto this screen ages ago.
Yeah. So, kind of
Yep,
point off.
that's fine,
to
mate. That's fine.
My right-ish.
I'm assuming this is...
Yeah, it's like this little pile over here.
Mm.
So, Murta just kind of points in the right direction of, there's a bunch of kind of guys over there.
That are all
I'm
tied
gonna
up
be right
and have their backs to a tree stump.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yep. I'm pretty sure when we looked at them last week, they were dead.
Well, I said
Although-
you. No. I said they look dead.
No. Murta would carry on with the assumption that they look dead and go, I think they're
Yep.
dead
No,
over there.
I most certainly said they look dead.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess Murta, now that Murta is happy with having secured this wolf in a cart, he will go and take a proper look with the woodsman.
Sorry, one question, Tom.
Yes.
Did Adele pick up the soul of the druid?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You most certainly did. Because he got killed. Wait,
Oh,
or did
okay.
he? Where is he? Yeah, he was right near it, so yeah, sure.
Yeah. So,
That's
Oh,
right,
so-
that's right, because he was killed out of combat. Yes, so you definitely got his soul.
yep. Because I just knocked him out. Because
Yes.
bounty hunters, it's fun, yo.
Mm.
So yeah. Now that we're actually taking a chance to look at them properly, I'm guessing a detection roll.
Yeah, detection roll, medicine roll, something like that.
Poke them with a stick.
9. Not great.
You see 5 men with their backs against the tree stumps. All of them are tied up. All of them seem to have blood on them in various places. None of them are moving.
Yeah, I kind of just go, here you are. Don't know what you guys want to do with them. I'm gonna go and check the perimeter. Yeah. And
That's
just
a thing
wander
people
off
do.
from this. Yeah, it's a thing people do. I wander off to just kind of like have a look around. Make it look like I'm being vaguely professional.
Make another detection roll.
Okay. God's sake.
Oh,
Oh, that's better.
you find some red mushrooms with white spots on them.
Cool.
I'm going to make an intellectual roll to see if I know what they are.
Yep. You think they're mushrooms?
I found some mushrooms. Very dangerous looking. They're red with white spots. Ooh. No, I don't say that. I just kind of like pick up the mushrooms and just kind of go, okay, and put them in a pouch.
Yep. Cool.
And thus the trope of loot everything has been achieved at this game.
Yep. To truly test this, make a detection roll, Colin.
Okay.
I know, right? Ding, 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 ding.
Sorry, one sec.
That's fine. Oh, cool. You find some pebbles.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do an arc roll to see if they're magic pebbles.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's an 8.
Yeah, they're not. Or at least you don't think they are.
Okay. Rather than just standing around here, shall we get on with things? And start heading back towards the woodcutting camp.
That sounds like an
Well-
absolutely brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Adele picks up the pebbles and walks over to Murta and says, Mr. Murta, I think I found some stones for that game of yours.
Murta starts going through them and kind of like throwing away the ones that are like not round enough or
Not sharp enough.
or sharp enough, or like, you know, ones that are like already broken, because that breaks the rules because you're meant to use blunt force. And just kind of like starts going through them and just
You
That was
find
good.
one suitable pebble in amongst them.
great. Pockets
So
it.
the woodsmen start grimly untying the men against the stumps. As they lower them to the ground, one of them starts coughing. He coughs up blood.
My God, it's a miracle. Wait, blood. Cat in.
Right, okay, I'm coming. And we'll try and stabilise that young man.
Mm-hmm.
How's that done? A bad one.
1 second. So where is it? So he Constantine looks at this man and sees that he has suffered multiple lacerations and puncture wounds to his body. You consider that this is probably an attempt to exsanguinate the man?
Oh gosh. He hasn't bled out yet.
Not yet, no.
Is it a medicine roll to check whether he's going to bleed out?
Yep, sure. I mean, your initial assessment found the problem. So you do your best to try and patch up the man. But the bandages that you apply to him, they soak through with blood fairly quickly. Before you've even finished tying them off.
This guy's not going to live. So I'm going to ask him what happened to him. What if he's even conscious? Is he conscious?
Barely.
I'm going to try and get some sense out of him of what happened.
What type of roll are you using? You got negotiation, interrogation, command would work.
Do negotiation.
Negotiation, okay. He looks at you. What are you saying to the man, actually? Roleplay what you're saying to the man.
Tell us what happened here. What happened to you? Were there any others? Is this all of you?
Looking up at you with bloodshot eyes, the man coughs. Blood spittles out from his between his lips. He manages to croak the word ritual, and then he says, the village, and then his eyes limply roll back into his skull.
Okay, so then that will be an intellect roll to see if I can work out what that means.
Yep.
That was a pretty good roll.
Yep. What do you think it means?
Well, I'm guessing that there was some kind of ritual performed that would bring some kind of doom onto South Shore.
Then that is what you believe.
Okay.
Can Adele roll some kind of magic checks to see if he's heard of such things?
Yep.
Is that going to be an arc roll?
No, you can have an int roll. It would be Law Circle Orboros or Law Devourer that would be the appropriate skill for this.
Unfortunately, I don't have either.
I know, but I'm just letting you know that's what it would.
Cool.
That, like GM voice, that's what it would be.
Okay.
So just an arc roll wouldn't really cut it. Just because you're
Okay,
magical
well,
doesn't mean you know all magical things. If you get my drift.
No, but he might have heard of things in passing.
Sure.
But there we
Which
go.
is what the intellect roll is. It's your memory. It's not your innate magical gift. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And that's good because my int is actually higher than my arc.
Yeah,
So,
of course. Yeah, I'm not deliberately making you pick the worst stat, mate. I'm just picking the appropriate stat. So you consider this for a while, and you think that from your knowledge, although basic, you believe that Devourer worshippers often make sacrifices to the Devourer worm itself, sometimes in exchange for boons or summonings or various other deals, as it were.
out of character, would Adele have any inkling if such a ritual, even if the practitioner is dead, if it would still take place? If,
You would not know
if the
that.
sacrifices. Okay. Also, does he know anything about how can I put this nicely? Usurping rituals in order to gain boons. The
Make
original.
Law Theramite would be the appropriate.
Okay.
Law Theramite is definitely the appropriate thing to roll here.
Okay, that's 13. Can I boost it with a...
Law Theramite, of course you can boost that. That's yours.
Okay. Okay, so that will be an 18 in all.
Oh wow, that's a high roll. You've never heard of such a thing.
Okay. Can I theorize whether or not it's possible?
You've never heard of it, so you theorize that you've never heard of it having happened before.
No, it was the first time for everything.
I mean, you can certainly go, I am going to aim to do this, but you'd have to tell me how you plan to do it. Like,
Okay, well,
I'm not going to tell you how
character.
it would be possible. You need to tell me how you would like to do it, and I will tell you the degrees of success or failure.
Would you like this out of character or in character?
In character, because if you're trying to do something in character, I would like it in character. Possible.
In character, Adele adopts this musing pose and he strokes where his goatee once was before shaving it off. And he says to Jade, Jade, my dear lady, do you see this ritual here? This might be a way for you to acquire more power. I don't know much about Crixian rituals. This is a devourer ritual. Is there any way that we could usurp it for you to obtain more power on our quest for mutual godhood?
How long are you waiting for a reply?
Did Discord just die on me?
Possibly.
Okay, because I was narrating and I'm assuming none of you heard that.
No, I heard it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you were asking about godhood and, what does she know about devourer rituals, stuff like that. And then I asked you a question, how long are you waiting for her to reply?
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, I figured you didn't.
Okay, I'm going to say a few minutes.
Okay, you
as
stand
long as
around
it's
looking...
socially appropriate.
Yeah, you stand around for a couple of minutes, perplexed, I guess. You get no reply from her.
And then I say into my head, Jade, if you're possessing my body, I'd much rather that we talked about this first. But very well, let's move on. And then he turns to Constantine and says, well, my, shall we say, studies into such things are limited, but I suggest we go and check on the village.
I think that's a really good idea. I am concerned that the village is under threat, and I think the sooner we get back to it, the better.
Yes, I'm going to make sure that these poor souls are all deceased. We wouldn't want to leave any of them to be eaten alive.
The woodsman closest to you says you don't need to worry about them being eaten. We're bringing them back with us.
Good. Then let us proceed.
Okay, so how many woodsmen you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 of the strongest woodsmen carry 1 each, and then the other 6 woodsmen carry a man between 2.
Good.
Balasar goes up to where Gary is. It is Gary on this quest, isn't it?
It is. I was just about to bring Gary up.
Yep.
Gary and Itchy Scrotum Sack, but I can't remember his actual name.
So Balasar goes up to Gary, who's sharing the load between him and some unnamed woodsman, and he just hefts the man onto his shoulder and carries him by himself to save Gary the burden of carrying.
Oh, he made a friend.
Well, you told him to look after Gary. So he's going to look after Gary. Thanks, son.
I will attempt to carry someone to help out.
Yep.
Dell says to Mercer, well, you know that cart that we found broken? I wonder how they got it here. You're good at finding things. Maybe you could find a swifter path out of this place.
That, my friends, would be a navigation roll.
You really don't want me to do that.
That's a 14 from Adele as he
Yep.
scans the brush.
Holy
So-
shit, does he actually have it?
Yes.
So, standing at the top of that cliff face on the bottom right-hand corner of the map, Adele surveys the area, humming to himself, presumably stroking his bald patch.
Striking a pose.
Yes, you consider the path, looking across at it, and you highly suspect that it might be an old trade route that's become overgrown from years of lack of use. But considering you're not taking a full cart with horse and like four wheels, you consider that you would be able to follow this path quite easily. Thanks, hon.
Oh, Captain, look at this. Mr. Murta, you're familiar with smuggling and such? How does this route strike you?
Who said I was ever familiar with smuggling? You assume that. No one, I've never done it. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Then we will find a different name for your nighttime excursions.
Yes. Procuring.
Wonderful. You're good with procuring.
Since he's talking about smuggling, I'm going to make a streetwise roll. Yeah.
What are you trying to ascertain?
He talked about a route that looked like it was smuggling. I'm seeing if it's something that's... Yeah.
You think it might be possible?
Yeah.
You think that it might be possible, especially considering the Signar Ord border that the river exists with Five Fingers betwixt, and your Crixian background, you would know that Crix items are often smuggled into the city. So if they were to be smuggled into the mainland and then into Signar, it would certainly be through Five Fingers and then south.
I'm going to make a streetwise roll on those carts again, on if there's anything left that we can find.
Sure.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me that for once Adele is not barking up the wrong tree?
I mean, like, I'm not telling you.
Sorry, I need a moment to take this in.
Yeah, I'm not telling.
I've rolled a 13.
Yeah, I see. So you think that they just look like normal carts?
Right.
One of them was full of apples,
Right.
but that was mainly for the meme.
Yes. Bushel of apples. Okay. Yeah, no, it was just kind of a,
Yep.
Go and start poking them.
Oh, Mr. Murta, do you think they have a secret compartment?
No, they're normal carts as far as I can tell. Don't just take an apple and start
pity.
eating one.
Did you eat one of the
Maybe we should
apples?
take the...
I am eating one of the apples.
Boom! All right then. Fizz roll, please.
Oh, I knew it.
You think
Fuck
that?
me.
You think that? For you, that apple was delicious.
Yeah. These are fantastic.
Oh, really? Maybe we should bring it back. I wonder if we could put it next to your wolf.
You also note that this apple was quite fresh.
Ah, brilliant.
Dell is going to help move the barrel of apples onto the wolf litter.
Yeah, it was crunchy with a sour tang. Not unlike a Granny Smith.
These are going to be rotted as fuck in reality.
Why would
is
they
it
be rotten
always
as
when
fuck?
it's like... Well, it's like when I drank the wine, that was like clearly really horrendous, and it was like just weirdly rolled a really high fizz roll.
Well, the thing is, that wine had been in a cave for God knows how long.
I was also the only non-troll in the party that didn't get poisoned by Mograt's fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
You did, however,
Maybe this...
get Devil's Rat Fever.
I did. I really did. It just amuses me that it's like he just eats and drinks anything.
Yep. Well,
Just
that
like,
actually fits with his background, to be fair.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, it's fine.
Anywho, Constantine, you up to anything?
I'm not eating apples. Because I don't believe in eating food that you've found. Unless you've killed it yourself.
The Cadoran hunter in him. Alright. So, you guys walk alongside Hodgepodge as it drags the makeshift, I want to say, stretcher? Carrying the Duskwolf north-ish. You think that this path will eventually lead you to relatively close to the woodsman's camp. I'm just going to check. You get to the woodsman's camp with no issues.
Awesome.
Adele is going to load the bushel of apples from the litter onto their cart.
We may as well put the entire trellis on the cart if it can fit alongside Hodgepodge.
It cannot.
Ah,
How
cock.
strong do you think Adele is?
There's lots of us. We have a Balazar and a Justin.
He's doing manual labour. I mean, this is a big step forwards for him.
Okay, so trying to work out how to. Oh, I go and see if I can borrow some more rope to tie the little trellis thing to the cart.
The head woodsman is very grateful to you for what's just transpired, so he gives you as much rope as you want.
Is he going to take it off our pay?
Nope, he just gives you rope.
I will take a 50-foot length of rope to stick in my backpack.
A 50-foot length of rope is heavier than you can carry.
Is it?
Yeah, rope's very heavy.
Tell that to D&D. 50 foot of hemp rope. Standard adventurers equipment.
Alright.
Yeah.
Standard
How-
length.
Yeah. It's how much rope can I carry in a backpack?
Well, you would strap it to the side of the backpack, presumably.
Yeah. However I do this. How much rope can I have, Tom?
I'm just googling how heavy is 50 feet of rope. Oh, apparently according to D&D it's 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't know if the rope in the D&D verse is the same consistency or the same material as the rope in the Iron Kingdoms verse.
How thick a rope is this? Is this kind of rigging rope, or is it?
Well, actually, according to climbing... Is this actually 50 feet of rope? It is. Right, so... Wow, no, actually, yeah, you can totally have 50 feet of rope. I am overestimating the weight of rope.
Depends on the rope.
Yep, so climbing rope, so it's a synthetic rope, so it would weigh less than the rope you're getting in the Iron Kingdoms, 50 feet of it is only 500 grams.
Wow.
But this is a synthetic modern climber's rope. So, you know, say 50 feet of rope is a kilogram. That seems fair. Yeah, you can have 50 feet of rope. Go. There you go.
Great.
Well, Adele is also going to help Murta and take some of the rope and tie it around Hodgepodge.
Why?
You never know when we need a warjack to actually drag something.
Okay.
Considering we've only got 20 gold from this job and we had to fight a Wold and a fucking warlock, I think we can fleece them for rope.
I mean, yeah, you just got essentially 2 gold's worth of rope out of them.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's 22 gold.
I will ask.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, David.
Nah, don't worry.
All right.
I was just going to go, I guess I should probably go and collect that 20 gold.
Yep. So the bloke looks at you and goes, "The service you have done for me and my friends. It saddens me that this is all I have to pay you."
Well, if you ever need us to help investigate some bits of wood, you need some garden. Something that's maybe not a warlock next time, but we're more than happy to give you a hand. If you have our address, so if you just send us a notice and we'll come down to the camp at our first opportunity and give you a hand, and we can have a bit of a back and forth and a trade relationship at that point. Eh, Brad?
Appreciate this.
Smashing.
Adele has gone with Murta and he chimes in, "Well, if we happen to see anyone who's in need of a good day's work, would you like us to point them to your direction to replace your losses?"
This would be very much appreciated. Strong men only, please.
Yes, of course. And how about strong ladies? Or just the strong men?
Strong ladies are acceptable.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Have yourself a good day.
Yes, well, now we bury our dead.
Yeah. Foot in your mouth a bit there, Adele. Anyway.
Well, you know, they're living, and at least they get to mourn the loss of their comrades rather than, you know, all be dead.
You are a strange man.
I have lost many comrades over the years, and I just like to be alive to honor their memories. You know, raise a glass for them.
Over many years.
Well, it's all relative, isn't it?
You look like you have seen far too few winters.
Well, hopefully I'll see many, many more.
Indeed. Well, again, thanks to you.
You're welcome. So start wandering back towards the cart, kind of looking at the gold and going, right, how much would that coal have cost? And starts kind of like working things out off the top of his head as he walks along to see how to split the gold out, which is more me turning around and going, "Hey guys, how do you want to split the gold?"
Put it in the party pot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because there was 5 of us, so it's like 4 gold each. Feels a bit like, yeah.
I mean, the party pot suffered last time, so we might as well rebuild it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, can I just do a detection test while we're in the camp?
Yes. What are you looking for?
Any indication that anything is coming to attack the camp, or otherwise untoward is going to happen to the camp, seeing as a ritual was completed, and...
You don't actually know that.
Well, assuming it was completed.
You got told the word ritual, and then the village. That's all you got told.
Yeah, but I am making assumptions.
Yep, I know. I'm just letting you know that you don't actually know that a ritual was completed. So, looking around, you... wait. This is probably lunchtime-ish. Yep, so you you just hear birds chirping. That's it.
Nothing untoward then.
Not that you can hear.
Cool. Okay.
Meanwhile, Odell murmurs to Murta, "Say, Mr. Murta, do you know that rope and paper come from the same plant source?"
He kind of just turns, looks at you, and goes, "Kind of depends on the rope," and carries on walking off.
Yes, it does, but it certainly isn't rock or metal. Or should I say scissors?
Carry on walking, kind of poke the wolf to see if it's woken up yet.
It has not.
Good.
Adele goes with him and says, "What are you naming the beast?"
We'll work that out. We'll work it out. It might be lunch. Just goes and sits in the back of the cart and kind of does his normal lying down.
There's not
Half
space
asleep
to
thing.
lie in the cart.
Lounge.
Yeah, you could lounge, because
Yeah.
you have to remember that the hodgepodge
The cart.
and a wolf are laying in the back.
No, the wolf's on like the trellis thing, and
Oh, I
Trellis
thought you
thing's
guys
tied.
said that you loaded it into the actual cart.
Adele put a barrel of apples in the cart.
Right, okay. Fair enough then.
It's like we've got something else with wheels that we can tie to the cart. It seems like a waste to just leave it behind.
Yeah, sure. Mhm.
And I like lounging in the back of the cart.
Yeah,
so-
you can lounge in the back of the cart. So, anyone else doing anything here, or are you just heading back to South Shore?
Let's head back to the house, South Shore.
Okay, so going along the road to South Shore, which is west, and about an hour or so outside of the loggers' camp, the rope holding your makeshift second cart that's dragging behind snaps.
That's
Oh
annoying.
no!
Yep.
If only we had more rope tied around a war jack.
You do have more rope tied around a war jack.
Yeah. Tie it up again to carry on trying. Shall I make a rope use
Imagine
check?
that.
Tom.
1 second. Yes. Rope use would be a good one.
Trying to make sure this time it actually stays bound up.
Mm-hmm. 150.
You might want to use more than one piece of rope just to doubly secure it.
I'm going to let the rope use roll dictate how well I do it,
That's a good plan.
rather than going, and then I do another one, and then I do another one, because that gets irritating.
Yep. I like your gumption, sir.
So, get back on the cart, carry on.
Right, okay. 15. So it'll be a 17. Nope. Okay. Cool. So, make a detection roll, Murta.
Okay.
You notice that the wolf is awake.
Ah, right. I'm going to jump off the cart and go and stand near it. And is it just awake and kind of looking around, or is it awake and
It was struggling at its bonds, but it couldn't break them.
right?
Out of interest, you did muzzle the beast, didn't you?
He did not.
Oh, man.
No, I just
He
I
tied
just
up
bound
its.
it.
He tied its limbs.
Well, you want to be able to hear it if it starts barking. doesn't occur to Murta that wolves don't bark much. He's encountered dogs, not wolves.
And mangy, blighted dogs at that. But they would be very vicious.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Probably more vicious than the wolf, really. Because they're more desperate.
Yeah. So it's like he goes over to it, kind of looks at it, and because of binding, it would have been more than 17 as well, anyway.
Huh?
Binding, it would have actually been a roll of 20, not 17 on the rope use. I just remembered. So that's kind of just something that popped into my head.
So you've got it here where it says the character is bound by somebody trained in rope use. The target number is as rope use skill, which yours was. You rolled a 17, and then it suffers a -2 to its roll because it was tied by somebody who. Because he's not trained in escape artist. So he had the wolf had to roll a 19 to escape.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Just let you know, because like basically rope use versus escape artist is like a.
No, I've got binding as an actual ability, which adds 3 to the skill roll difficulty for the bound character to escape whenever I use manacles or other restraints.
Oh, okay. Well, in which case
it's a bounty hunter skill.
It's a 22 then.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
So, Murta has other bedroom hobbies, clearly.
I was a bounty hunter for years. You don't learn. Months, probably months more than years. But yeah, anyway. So I kind of kneel down next to the wolf and kind of look it in the eyes, not close enough so it can bite me.
Yep.
And just kind of like start staring it down in the eyes, because I know that's how you deal with dogs, right?
Make an animal handling roll.
Yeah, which I don't have.
Make it anyway.
I guess physique, because it's a social role.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
And I'm trying to intimidate it, I guess. So.
Assert dominance.
Asserting my dominance with my physique.
1 second. So they are. That doesn't have one. Okay, so I'm just going to roll. It's got to be higher than yours. It is not dominated.
Nah.
You can hear it snarling and yapping.
I wonder if it's hungry, says Adele.
Yeah, no, it doesn't get food until it learns to behave. Murta looks at it, turns and looks at it again, and listens to how it snarls for a couple of minutes, and then goes.
Okay, another animal handling roll then.
Yeah. Just as like a, yeah. That was bad. I'm going to spend a feat point to re-roll.
How many have you got left?
I started with 2 at the start of the session.
Oh.
I managed to gain 1 on that physique roll for eating the apple.
That was a gag.
It was successful. It was technically a skill roll.
Yes, but it was a gag. So it is somewhat quietened by your improvised snarling.
Yeah.
Adele claps his hands and says, "Oh, if we're doing that, Balasar, old chap, I think that you could growl at the mutt too. Give it your best shot."
I'm not really fancying pretending to play Poppy. Why don't you do it,
Do you
Adele?
have any experience with mutts?
Huh. I'm having nothing to do with this devourer dog. I told you before.
Oh, I thought it was just an innocent wolf.
Doing the Devourer's bidding.
Oh, well, did it really have a choice? And Adele growls, using physique. That's a 17.
The actual fuck.
I can
love it.
boost it.
No, you can't. You can't.
you
We
can't.
don't have animal handling.
Ah.
I
Oh,
was-
yes, that's
I-
right.
I would have boosted it if
Also,
I could.
you can't boost after the fact.
Yes.
You can't make a roll and go, oh, I'm going to boost that after the fact. I know you did it earlier,
Fair
but
enough.
I was being nice. So, in actuality, as Adele snarls at this, because this was such a good roll, as Adele snarls at this, something ethereal within him snarls also. The wolf whimpers and cowers and stops straining at its bonds.
Murta kind of looks at Adele a bit, debates whether that's kind of assuming more trying to compete with him, decides he doesn't care, and gets out a bit of the jerky and starts feeding it to the wolf because it's behaving now.
Attaboy.
The wolf sniffs at the food nervously and then looks at Adele. It hasn't eaten any yet.
Adele pats Murta on the shoulder and ushers the wolf in the prettiest voice he can manage. Well, go on then, boy. Go on, unless you're a girl. I don't know. Is it a girl?
You haven't checked.
No, Adele hasn't. That's more to Murta.
Murta wasn't going to bother checking until he got it under control. Basically, Murta is not getting it attached until it is under control,
Yep.
and then he will become very attached. And if it doesn't ever get under control, hey, there's fight pits.
So, with Adele saying soft tones of yes, go on then, the wolf eats the dried meat greedily and snacks it all down.
Yeah. And then I get back on the cart and we carry on moving, I guess.
Okie-dokie. So,
And I kind of turn to Adele and go, you realise at some point I'm now going to have to beat you to make it listen to me over you.
Absolute rubbish. We have a chain of command here. Captain's in command, then you and me jointly, and it's just going to have to learn the pack dynamics, I believe. I don't know. Murta, Margaret's at the bottom, the wolf is somewhere in between, and it will just do as you say. Just keep feeding it. I think that's how it works.
okay,
Murta rolls his eyes, turns around and kind of starts dozing.
fair enough. So, you are approaching South Shore Village.
Can I do a detection roll,
Of course you can.
please? Just to see if I can hear anything.
Yeah, you don't need to ask.
I'm very
When you want
aware.
to make a detection roll, you just make one. But just let me know what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah. So, making a detection roll to see if I can hear anything.
Mhm.
And there it is.
Wow, that's a really good detection roll. You can hear.
If I get a feat point for that, I'm shifting it off to Murta.
Yeah, sure, you can have a feat point for that. If it's a crit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, then you can have a feat point for Murta if you want it.
So I'll give it to Murta then.
Okay. So in the distance you can hear the sounds of the village busy during the height of the afternoon. You can hear town crier telling people the news of the day. You can hear the bells of the docks as the ferry approaches. You can hear the hustle and bustle of the village alive and going, as it were.
Nothing untoward then.
No. No, it's all good.
Now that we're here, I fancy jumping off the cart and having a wander over to the stable guy.
Okay.
I'll tell the guys I'm just going to ask the stable man a few questions, but for personal interest.
Sure.
Adele calls after Mercer. Well, I'm not sure you'd be able to fit a saddle on a wolf, but maybe it's possible. Have fun.
Carry on walking off.
Okay. Yep, so
Um,
you arrive at the stables.
Cool. Just to avoid this taking too much time, basically I'm going to go and have a chat with stable guy about how you look after animals and get them to listen to you. And I am going to double check that it's not a horse that I'm talking about, but it's like a big dog wolf thing. But it's basically just seeing if he has any ideas on how I could tame it.
He doesn't. He says that his father used to break horses, but since the decline of the business, they haven't really been doing that anymore. He knows more about looking after things that were already tame.
Cool. Can he point me anywhere to anyone that might be able to do it in 5 fingers?
He says, it sounds to me like you're talking about something that's not tame. May I ask what it is?
I straight up tell him it's like a big wolf.
He seems relatively surprised and he goes, well, there's always the fighting pits on the Wake Islands. Those guys are always after vicious creatures to throw into their fights, and if you don't want to give it to them, then they'd be the ones to know how to keep a creature like that contained, because they have a bunch of them.
Right.
Every now and again, when they've amassed a collection, they have fight nights where combatants fight against all sorts of different beasts. Last time I was over in Five Fingers, I made sure to catch one of the shows, and man, they had this guy fighting a bear.
That attracts Murta's interest. Because all Balazar said was it was a fight pit and talked about animals. This is rather more like, oh wait, I can fight these things. So, that's of interest. Storing that information away. Thanks him for his time. Reassures him that we're still looking at ways to help his business. Double checks whether, actually that's, no, I'll go through things with the group before I pitch that, because that's a kind of group pitch thing. I'll thank him for his time, reassure him we're still looking into ways to see if we can help his business, and then I'm gonna wander back to wherever the group is.
Cool. What's what everybody else doing?
After you, David.
I'm spending my time kind of nervously watching the goings on, trying to work out if anything's wrong. But I'm going to gradually kind of make my way towards the tavern. As I
Adele. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you were still talking, David.
To all meet up. So there you go.
Okay. So what's Adele doing?
Adele bids a fond farewell to the guardsman, woodcutter's soul that he collected, and waves that off, not wanting it to diminish or be called away from its afterlife. And he turns to the druid/warlock's soul and pokes at it and sees if it responds.
It does not.
And he considers it to be a weak, pathetic soul. And he goes and starts making cooing faces at the wolf.
Animal handling roll.
Okay. And is this going to be perception or physique? I'm just trying to read his body language.
I'm going to go with perception on this one.
Okay. That's
And can I also have an int roll? Just a base intelligence roll.
And that's another 12.
Okay. And okay, so the wolf is just rolling awfully. So the wolf is somewhat coming around to your strange charm.
Adele tosses the wolf an apple from the cart and says, "Here you go, boy. Try this."
The wolf catches the apple in its jaws, crunches down on it, and then spits it out, coughing and hacking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have any meat for you.
It looks
Maybe-
visibly confused.
But you have to be nice to him. You have to do what he says. He's your new lord and master now. He's not very good with vassals, but he'll learn.
Do I walk up in during this encounter, Tom?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I'm gonna make a sneak roll.
Yep, sure. I need a detection roll from...
Oh God! No.
Yep,
That was
no,
double one.
that's fine. I need a detection roll from Adele, please. You notice Murta is sneaking up on you.
But I
And in
the
that case,
incompetence! It's so fun, right?
Adele says in saccharine, sweet tones, "Ah, yes, little wolf. You're going to learn all about Mr. Murta. Be a little rough around the edges, but he has a good heart. You just be nice for him. You don't bark at him or growl. You be so good for him, and maybe I'll teach you how to play knuckles with your fangs. Won't that be fun?"
Cool.
The wolf
Since
goes-
It doesn't, since he's not acknowledged me, I am just going to carry on and smack him around the back of the head.
You fucker.
It's like, no, it's like literally, I've walked in on you basically babying something that I'm. Yeah, no, it's just walk up and just whack. The sneak roll was just to see whether you noticed me walking up or not. Genuinely.
I am led to the opinion, based on the Reddit threads that I've been reading, that I, as a D&D GM, I should probably have you roll damage on him.
Do you want me to?
Of course not. You hit him round the back of the head in a kind of cuffing him round the back of the head way. You're not trying to kill the guy.
Yeah, precisely.
But that is what I've heard from Reddit threads.
Yeah, it's DMs trying to stop the nonsense of inter-party interactions. Oh my God!
Nah, man. The more you guys interact, the more I get undercoated.
Yeah.
Adele says, "Oi, mate," in his best Murta impression, and thumps him in the shoulder.
I mean, if you want to avoid these thumps, you can make an agility roll.
Yeah, if he wants to avoid the one from the back of the head, then he can attempt the agility roll. I totally would just.
No,
step
that's
out
already
of the way
happened.
Oh, I will make the agility roll then.
Yeah, the one that you did's already happened.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, so no, he still punches you. Right in the chest.
Too slow.
Make a strength roll, Colin, and make a fizz roll, Adele. No, the other way around. Yeah, strength roll from Adele, fizz roll from Murta.
Fuck off! I'm re-rolling that.
No, you can't re-roll it because it's just narrative-y stuff. You're winded, so there's no
Bullshit.
in-game effect, but you're momentarily and the air is pushed from your lungs and you are winded, sir.
Well, Adele gets up and wanders out after Constantine with a slight smile.
I start cursing him and Shard.
Brilliant.
1 ale for you, Mr. Murtaugh.
I'm surprised you didn't say a half.
I didn't actually catch what Colin said.
He said 1 ale for you, and the bigger insult would have been a half. Alrighty.
Murder carries on muttering and just sits down on the thing next to the wolf and just sits there in silence, just near it.
Alrighty.
I want to know how the wolf feels about this exchange, because it seems like Adele has come out on top of it, reinforcing his dominant position.
Oh my god, animal handling roll, please.
Yeah, that's kind of like I've kind of just assumed he's come out on top of it. I'll be honest.
Okay, that's a I'm assuming it's physique since it was all physical.
It was, yeah. Okay, so the wolf is very much of the opinion of Adele is the. I'm very aware that alphas aren't a thing, but also in the IKRPG they kind of are. It's a creature template, so he thinks Adele is on top, as it were.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Murder is plotting. Murder is plotting and scheming.
Poor old Murder.
Seems like Adele is usurping his puppy from him.
Adele is going to purchase a jug of ale for 2 silver and bring it out to Murta.
I will take it and then just watch Adele walk back into the pub.
Do I need another animal handling because the wolf saw me bring Murta food?
No.
Oh, I was totally going to do that.
Oh yeah, go for it then.
I guess in this case it's intellect because perception.
Yeah, perception's good.
Because it's like the whole body language thing. The wolf is confused.
Yeah, the wolf is confused. It doesn't change.
Yeah. But he's the alpha. Why is he bringing him the stuff? I'm so confused.
Because the alpha provides.
Yes, I mean, he already tossed an apple to the wolf, so...
Alpha provides for its pack. I mean, his previous alpha got beheaded.
Adele says to Constantine, Captain, are you alright? And he says this in Laelese, because Constantine hasn't been his usual shipper self.
There's something up, and I don't know what it is. And I'm very aware that we might be in danger.
Well, maybe, but we slew a rat warlock thing in the sewers. We slew a... whatever the heck he was in the woods. And we slew the whole grinder. I'd say that we're doing fairly well. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, there's always something trying to kill something, though.
Sorry, I'm going to have to use the prequel meme. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah.
Just gotta fit prequel memes in there where I can. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, there's always a bigger fish. I'm not going to rest until we're back at the base.
Well, shall we make our way there? Or would you like to allow the rest of the group to rest first?
I think we stay here for a night. And then I'm going to go up to the bar, tavern, the owner dude, and see if he's got lodgings for us.
So you got to the owner of the inn. He's there with his wife. She's currently serving some people some food. So you've asked for lodgings.
Yep.
So he says, yep, sure. We have the suite available, we have small rooms available, and we have the common room available.
What were the prices on those?
The suite is 1 gold a night. The small rooms, which sleep 2, are 5 silver a night. And the common bunkhouse is 1 copper a night.
And how many of the double or the twin bedrooms do you have?
Currently 3.
How many are in the party at the moment?
About 6.
Right. Okay. We'll stay around here until nightfall, and then we'll let you know whether we need a room or not.
He says, "Yep. Well, let me know. I can't hold rooms without a deposit though. So
Yeah. No, I understand that.
if they're gone by the time you get to making your choices, then that's on you."
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's understood.
By the way, what you guys did you guys leave the spear? Did you burn the spear with the rest of the stuff?
Yeah,
Right, okay.
it was burnt.
Just checking.
We burned it and the druid.
Okay.
Yes, completely. We would have made sure the fire was hot enough to destroy the bone rather than leave it as a burnt out husk.
I mean, I don't know how you're gonna like. Yeah. Okay. It's irrelevant.
Fire does have to get to quite a temperature before it does that, Colin. You're not really doing that without a furnace.
It doesn't matter. Yep. So you are now in the pub. It's about mid-afternoon.
Okay, I'm going to buy these gentlemen a drink of their choosing from my own funds.
Balasar slaps you on the shoulder and says, "Cheers, boss."
And gentlemen, what would you like?
Fruit juice if they have it. Thank you, Captain.
You get given an apple cider.
Right. Okay.
I'm outside, but you know by now that I just drink ale copiously.
So Constantine is going to buy you a jug of ale. Adele bought you a jug of ale. Oh, Martha.
I'm not complaining.
I mean, fair.
Just sat with a wolf and watching the cart that's got a freaking war jack in it.
I mean, it's advisable to have somebody watch it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll however much that costs in total, give everyone their drinks, take out the picture for Murtar, and then ask Murtar if he notices anything strange.
So that would be 4 silver, roughly.
Cool, I'll sort that out. Hold on.
Cool. So you've asked Murta if he's seen anything strange.
Well, Adele managed to punch me and I actually bloody felt it.
That would be feeling something strange rather than seeing it. I mean, have you seen anything strange since you've been out here?
I'll make a detection roll and then you can tell me if I did, Tom.
Yep, that sounds appropriate to me.
Yeah, apparently dice hate me tonight.
The strange thing you saw was Adele punching you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty strange.
In an attempt to cheer Constantine up, Adele is going to exit the tavern, go over to Constantine and say, we've never really explored the town here. I noticed that you seem to enjoy reading. Shall we go on the hunt and see if we can find you another good book? Keep an eye out?
That's not a bad idea at all. Okay, yeah, I'm up for that. Tom's going to tell us there's no bookshops, though.
I mean, there's certainly no bookshops.
But there might be an antique shop or something with a book.
There is no antique shops. This it was so long ago that I described South Shore. So South Shore doesn't have many buildings that are made of stone. and it only has like 2 buildings that are more than 1 floor. The majority of the buildings are wooden in construction and fairly shanty-ish looking and in poor condition. The main 2 buildings that are in good repair and big are the inn itself and the customs house. Off to the shore you see the trawler / scrap boat in its associated scrap yard, and that's roughly what you see.
Cool.
Do we know what kind of wares the custom house generally brings in?
You don't know.
Okay. So, walk around, see what there is, see that there's nothing, and then return to the tavern.
Okay. So, a while passes of you sitting in the tavern. A man comes up to you and says, "Hello there. What are you guys doing here? Business or pleasure?"
Can I? Right, I'm going to see if I can judge what he's up to just by that conversation, which probably won't be able to, but I'm going to give him the once over.
Mhm.
Just see if I can learn anything.
Mhm.
Does he have an accent at all?
He has the accent I just used, mate. You.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna go. You think he's a bit dodgy.
Okay. My response then will be, so who's asking?
He says, "Well, my name's Clive Smatherton, and I am a seller of marvellous potions, tinctures and litnesses, and various other medical cure-alls.
Right.
You lot look like fine adventuring fellas, and I wondered if you wanted to buy any of my marvellous medicines."
Oh, I have a question for you, good sir. Do you happen to have some sort of elixir in there which, how can I put this politely, dispels stupidity and ignorance and allows one to see the true nature of merchants?
I'm just making an intelligence roll for him. Oh, yes, why I do. I do have the very same elixir. He scuffles around in a large leather bag that he's carrying. It's like a fairly sturdy box-shaped bag which opens at a clasp at the top, if you know the type, and unfolds down on one side. There's various glass bottles in there of different colours, browns and reds and greens. He pulls one out, and detection roll for anybody actually paying attention to him. Okay. He pulls out a bottle. I'm going to tell you what he does to it, but none of you have actually seen it. I just want you to know what he's done to it, but you don't actually see it, so your characters don't know this. He scuffs out with his hand whatever was written on the bottle, and then quickly writes something on the bottle before handing it to Adele. And he says, "This is the very elixir. Enhances intelligence for dealing with shopkeepers."
Oh, wonderful. So if I drink this, then I'll be able to see through your charlatan ways. Is that what you're telling me?
I would love to know how Adele knows he's a charlatan.
Adele
You
doesn't
metagaming
like
bastard,
potion
you.
sellers.
Huh?
I'm not. He was
He was-
insulting him before.
Yes, but you don't know that he's a charlatan.
No, he
Constantine.
doesn't. He's making an assumption.
Constantine thinks he's shafty. Shifty. But Adele.
Someone approaching them in the pub with potions, and Adele said, "Do you have a potion to allow me to see through
Okay, that's
people
fair.
lying
That's
to
fair.
me?"
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
If you'd like me to retract
No,
it and
that's
roll
fair.
for it,
That's
I can.
fair. I said that's fair. So
Okay.
what did you say? Because I've forgotten.
It's something along the lines of, "If I drink this, will I see through your charlatan ways?"
Okay, so I'm going to make an int roll for him. He says, "Yep, you'd certainly see through my charlatan ways."
Wonderful, wonderful. Tell me, how much are you selling that leather satchel for? Not the vials, just the satchel.
My bag.
Yes, your bag.
50 gold.
Really? I was thinking more like 4.
Negotiation.
I'm going to roll negotiation. And that's the 13.
He looks at you and says, "Deal."
Oh, well, if you're agreeing to it after you said 50 gold, and then you said 4 gold, I don't think it's really worth 4 gold. How about 15 silver?
Another good negotiation roll for that then.
And that's a 15.
He says, "Deal."
Wonderful. You, sir, have a deal. 15 silver for your wonderful bag.
Well, yeah, but the potions are going to cost you a lot more. A lot more. They're very rare and unique potions with various enchanting effects.
My dear fellow, I'm not interested in your potions. Just the bag. Just the bag itself.
Are you sure? They're good for the soul.
Absolutely sure. And believe me, you wouldn't want to know all about souls. Terrible business, that. Terrible business.
Alright then. He pulls out a canvas sack from within that bag and starts gently loading all of his potions into that and takes them out of the briefcasey bag. He takes 15 silver from you.
Perfect. I was just making a note of that.
And you now have the bag.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Yep, I'm all done here. So, whatever you guys want to do.
Did any of you want to buy any of my marvellous potions?
I'm not in the habit of buying potions from people I don't know who are peddlers rather than storeholders. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's
Good
just
luck
discrimination on the working class. Just because I can't afford a building doesn't mean my potions aren't any good.
No, but you look like a shifty bugger, and I'm not in the habit of making deals with people I don't think are trustworthy. So good day to you, sir.
Well, I never. And he storms off.
I'm tempted to open fire on him at this point, but I'm not going to.
Constantine is
Adele
violent.
calls after him. Make sure you don't let the door hit your sack on the way out. Might break your vials.
Well, thanks for the advice. And he leaves.
Adele says in Laeli's to Constantine quietly, "Would you like me to have Mr. Mercer bruise him up for you?"
Oh no, there's no need. I hope he's suitably chastised.
Nice bag, though.
I don't know what you're going to use it for.
Well, we're always finding bits and bobs and so on, and having a second bag where we can hold things in might be useful.
Yes, I suppose so.
Oh dear. Okay, so you now have a bag of holding potions.
Cool.
Yes,
So
and if
you have an
ever,
alchemist.
I know, if Edel ever became an alchemist, might be handy.
Yeah, it might be. Okay, I'm going to go outside to check on Murtar again.
Okay, Murta, have you been drinking both those pictures?
It depends how long I've been sat here on how far I've got.
Quite some time.
Probably into the second picture.
Cool. Okay. Constantine has now come out to check on you.
Exactly how drunk is he? Detection rolls?
No, that would be a fizz roll on his part.
It's a reasonable pace, but still a large amount,
That's
basically,
fine.
isn't it? Watch the double one come up again.
He's fine.
Oh, no, again, when I'm drinking or eating something.
Yeah, he's he's merry, but he's not drunk. He can handle his ale.
Okay, is there anything going on? Anything untoward? This is a question to Murtar.
Murta doesn't think so.
Yeah. Nothing I can think of, boss. There was a bit of a arsey chap wandering down the street a few minutes ago.
Yes, we know about him. How are you for victuals?
Oh, I'm good. I've got my beer. I've got my rations. I'm good.
Do you want something more substantial?
Nah, I'm good. And just carries on quietly drinking next to this wolf that he's just been keeping company, basically.
Animal handling roll.
What stat's best if it's just keeping company?
We'll go with perception because you're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. Hey, dice seem to actually be rolling reasonably okay now.
You think the wolf is warming to you a little bit more than it had been?
Does that count as a successful crit?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. I take it that restores you a feat point.
Yeah. Back to 3 feet points.
Yay.
Drinking and eating, does that count as resting?
For the amount of time that you've been doing it, yes.
Grand.
So you gain your fizz back in health.
So that's 1, 2, and
like 6 or something,
3.
Isn't it?
5 for me.
Alright, okay.
So I was just working out how much did I... 3, 4. Oh, I had more health than I thought. I'm back to full.
Well done. Well, you did do a walk it off towards the end of the combat.
Yeah. And it rolled quite well.
Yeah, I think you got like 4 back from it or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway. So. I think at this point we should have a brief interlude.
Yeah, cool.
For it is 10 o'clock.
Yep, sounds good. And maybe when we get back, we can actually do an actual quest.
Yeah, sure. So, do you think we actually complete quests here on this RPG?
Yeah. We kill things and then we lounge around until we kill the next thing.
Cool.
Until something kills our allies.
Right, well, I am going to just remind anybody who's watching live in chat that we now have affiliate status, so if you like what you're watching and you'd like to support us, you can click subscribe. If you've got Amazon Prime, then you can use your Prime account. It doesn't cost you anything. It's pretty cool. Otherwise, hitting follow, still really, really good. Helps us out a lot. If you're watching on YouTube later on, click subscribe, like, all those things. And just a quick reminder that this show is sponsored by Captive Duskwolves. Captive Duskwolves, they don't bond with who you think they should. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. We usually take a break for. We say it's 15 minutes, but sometimes it's less. It depends on when everybody gets back. Catch you guys soon. Bye.
So it occurs to me, chaps, that we haven't actually killed anything this session. It's refreshing.
Yeah. Sorry, a couple of things have come up that since now that we've got a break, it would be handy for me to deal with, so I'll actually be disappearing for a little bit.
This might be a first. Catch you in a few.
Yeah.
Why, hello there. I take it from your stunned silence that there's nobody here but me. Fandabby doozy. Alrighty. So again, I'd like to thank everybody that is hanging out in chat and watching along. We love sharing the Young Kingdoms with everybody, and hope that you're enjoying it. If you are, if you play Iron Kingdoms or any other RPGs, you know, let us know which ones you play and which ones you're currently playing, if at all any. I know that I'll be trying D&D soon when one of our players, JP, GMs that for us for a couple of weeks. So that will be quite interesting. While I'm waiting for them to get back, I'm just let you know what I'm doing. I'm just casually painting up some miniatures that I will be using for the RPG once face-to-face gaming is more available. I'm a big fan of having the appropriate miniature for the bad guy or good guy or NPC. I do like having miniatures even for simple NPCs that aren't really that big a deal. It helps build them as a stronger character, in my opinion at least. So, well, that's just my opinion. I'd like to hear your opinion. What do you think? Do you use miniatures when you RPG, or do you do it solely in the tabletop of your mind? Every way is different and interesting. I suppose coming from a tabletop wargame background, I just like using miniatures. Also helps me better visualize where everybody is in a combat. If any of you are watching for the first time, sometimes I actually do painting streams using my webcam to show what I'm currently working on at any one time. Those usually just devolve into chatting about various geeky topics and things like that. And other times we sometimes stream games of tabletop games such as War Machine or Riot Quest or various other games. So if any of those interest you, hit that follow button. I fell out of Discord. Nope, I'm still there. Okay, that's good.
Hey, sorry, Tom. I had a couple of things I had to.
No, you don't need to apologise.
I know. Just, I've heard your voice coming out of this, like, the mic for like the last couple of minutes by itself, sounding slightly confused.
No, I wasn't confused. I was just trying to keep anybody who was watching entertained in some way.
I'm joshing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
I'm alright.
Yeah. That alright.
Yeah. On a different topic, I guess. Obviously, just before the stream started, I was, let's face it, monologuing about the Legion CID. But what are you thinking of it so far?
I haven't looked at it.
No?
No. During the weekdays, I spend like my time trying to fight the beast procrastination while I'm trying to write my uni assignments, and then I spent all of today with my wife and daughter. So, you know, we went out on our bikes and had lunch in middle of nowhere. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to be able to have some time with the family.
Yeah, exactly. But well, especially when you tell your wife, yeah, for like 4 hours of the evening, I'm going to be utterly ignoring you.
Yep.
So and I do this every week. So like, she's very understanding of me.
Yeah. It's my ex was pretty good about the whole time I spent doing doing hobby stuff, and okay, because we only really saw each other at weekends, and if there was tournaments for the weekend, then she was pretty good about understanding about that. So that was nice. But and I was understanding about her spending £150 on a single book. So
what book was it?
Like, well, no, not once, multiple times. She's a collector of books.
Like first editions or?
Some of them were first editions, some of them were just simply out of print and a bit rare. Sometimes it was multiple books, but like I remember she spent something like 270 across 4 books, but it's like when they're together as a set, it's normally a lot more. So that was, yeah.
Got you.
And just seen David go try £500 on his pair of shoes.
Wait, what? That's like more than twice what I paid for my car that I'm currently trying to sell because of COVID. Do those shoes drive you places? That's... Oof.
Oh God, that is a lot of money.
I think I would have an aneurysm if Danielle spent that on shoes. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Not his current partner.
Ah, right.
That does make a lot more sense. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what D&D's likes, though.
There's good stuff about it. It's just I personally think it isn't. My only real issue with it is it feels like it lacks customization of what the various things do, unless you're basically taking a feat at every level, at which point it hits a point where it feels like your character can't do anything. So that, yeah. But in terms of the game itself, it's really nice. It's pretty streamlined. It's much simpler than previous editions. A lot of my mates are very much 3.5 hardcore fans, but I found in terms of teaching people, 5th edition is much better.
Right.
And in terms of just kind of like getting on with the game, 5th edition also tends to be generally better rather than having to go and find all of the numbers and stuff. So it's really good on that point of view. It also actually has a character sheet that works, which is amazing as far as I'm concerned, because it's like I can't really think of another roleplay where the character sheet just works. It's always like, oh, here's a character sheet that works for like your first 6 sessions and then feels far too small.
I did a paper version for IKRPG that lasted until like 50 EXP, and it didn't. It was fine.
That might be about a difference in how our players approached it, because I had a group that it was just like, we can't write down the abilities of our characters, we can't get this or this actually in place. They also did like carrying around a lot more weapons than the sheet allowed for, but that's not necessarily the sheet's fault. But they just found the sheets too small even when I blew them up to A3 size.
I mean, I had an alchemist with like 20 or 30 different ingredients, and I had like, because I didn't want to keep writing them down and then deleting them again, I had all of the ingredients written in pen, and then I had paper. I had pencil tallies for how many of each ingredient I had for dealing with the alchemy.
Hello.
And I just did that in because the IKRPG ones are like 2 pages.
Mm-hmm.
I did it in the spells section because he didn't have magic.
That's fair. That just sounds like we had very different experiences with them then.
Yeah.
Because my experience of them was that they worked until about 5 sessions in, and then we're just too covered in stuff to really do anything with.
Mm.
Although, then again, another thing about that is my party refused to use pencil. So, which
Why?
I think is just a bad thing with role players. I don't know. I think maybe it was the fact that we didn't have any pencils, and none of us thought to pick up a pack.
Well, as soon as I knew I was GMing, I just bought a pack of pencils.
Yeah. Yeah, this was when did it first come out?
IKRPG 8 years ago.
Okay, so 8 years ago I would have been 18.
Oh,
So
bless.
not as much common sense, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I was ex-military, so I was like...
It's all good.
Righty-ho, so we are just waiting on the other guys to get back.
Colin did just say that he got back, and David is no longer muted.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes, none of those people are talking. So, if we are all now back, then we shall progress onwards and upwards to better things. Shall we?
Cool. Okay, so what's Guanin? Is anything?
I don't know.
I didn't actually really catch what you said.
I'm going to see if anything is Guanin.
Just normal towns, normal village stuff. Nothing miraculous is happening.
Okay, fine. Is it nightfall now?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'm happy to ask the rest of the group whether they want to stay here or go back.
Mercer's probably a bit not sloshed, but like ignore him. Basically, is probably the best idea at this point.
Well,
Dell, having got bored of sitting in the pub, wanders outside to find his fellows and looks around and says, "Well, we could pay for lodgings here and risk this," and he gestures at the wolf, "getting loose or being cut loose, or we could catch a free ferry ride back to our base where we have our beds and we have a more secure location."
Well, I think I prefer the idea of going back to Five Fingers. Let's go back to Five Fingers.
Yes, my thinking exactly.
My only concern is that if we were to leave here and something were to happen, we would feel awful, or at least I would.
Well, here's the thing, sir. If something were to happen here and we were sleeping, we wouldn't be able to prevent it anyway, and we've been here a good number of hours. Nothing has happened. So,
You could just tell the guards.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually.
I mean, we slew him before the ritual was completed, presumably, so I would say we're good.
No, is the question. Is the issue. I don't know whether the ritual was completed or not. I don't know how much danger we're in. All I've got is the word of a dying man.
who said ritual and the village.
You know, this is a town. I wonder if there are any other villages on this island.
This isn't an island, this is a continent. You're on the mainland currently.
Ah, okay, fine. Wow, that sounds really stupid then. Then I'm going to retcon that to say, I wonder if he meant another village.
You are currently... Oh. Here. Okay.
Doesn't appear to be any more villages on the shore anywhere.
Well, I don't know what else we can do, Captain. I mean...
Right, well, let's head back.
It's only so much.
Let's head back.
I mean, if there's a town mayor or someone, we could let them know.
Okay, so you're going for the ferry then?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as your cart approaches the ferry, you see that it is preparing to depart. Presumably for the last journey of the night. Before...
Are we close enough to catch it, or is it going to leave without?
You're close enough to catch it.
Okay.
Plus, being business savvy men and not on exactly other people's timescale, if they see a cart coming, they're not going to turn away money. So they'd hold the ferry for an immediate cart rather than, sorry, it leaves at exactly 8 o'clock.
Okay.
You're not dealing with that level of bureaucracy.
Let's double time it down to the ferry then.
Okay. So your cart starts up the sloped ramp at the edge of the ferry, and as it comes on, you see one of the Merrick brothers give you a kind of two-fingered salute, and he waves at one of the money collector blokes that was approaching your cart and shakes his head. The man does not. The man does not walk up to you.
Does a two-fingered salute mean the same thing in Iron Kingdoms as it does over here?
A two-fingered salute is he holds two fingers and salutes with them. He's not giving you the V's.
Oh, okay.
Not encouraging you to go forth and multiply.
He approaches you
Okay.
and he says,
Adele says, "Well met."
He says, "Gentlemen, I hope you had good business. Hope things went well for you."
Well, you know what they say, there's always a bigger fish.
He looks towards the wharf and says, "What is that thing doing on my ferry?"
Nothing to do with me.
Well, technically, it's actually on our litter, and it is the litter that is on your ferry. So, you know.
That sounds like technicalities.
Yes, but still.
I toss him a gold and go, I'll make sure it leaves everyone else alone.
He catches
And
the
clear
gold.
up after it.
He catches the gold and nods and says, "Fair enough," and walks away.
Adele is going to roam around and look to see if there are any more interesting people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So at the prow of the ship, or at least the I don't know how nautical Adele is. There is a woman in her late 20s, fairly well dressed.
Adele introduces himself by saying, "Fine evening, is it not?"
She says, "Well, it could always rain."
Yes, it could. But you know, a little rain is good for the soil. Lets the flowers grow.
Oh, are you a horticulturalist, sir?
Not at all. I simply admire gardens.
Do you have a garden of your own?
Alas, no longer. Once I did.
Hmm.
And he
What-
lets out a very wistful, melancholic sigh.
I see that this troubles you so.
Oh, things change and things change.
Anything I could help you with?
Oh, not at all. I just came to find intelligent conversation.
Well, certainly. I mean, but if you have lost anything or would need any help reclaiming something, I could help you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have lost someone rather dear and precious to me. You see, we were separated, some time back.
Yes, go on.
And Adele, I'm going to roll a detection check because I want to see how...
Because you want to see how what?
Sorry, to see if she's lying or not, how trustworthy she...
You want to see if she's lying about what? I'm a bit confused.
Sorry,
He just wants to see how trustworthy she is.
Oh, you think she's trustworthy?
Okay, so Adele describes the officer's daughter and explains that basically his brother-in-arms, he was a friend of the family, and how he lost how she lost her parents, and he's searching for her because they're practically family now, and there's a reward of 10 gold for her.
She
alive.
reaches into her coat and pulls out a notebook and starts writing this down.
Adele is going to sketch a picture of her and also hand over
She
one of the
proffers-
business cards.
She proffers her notebook for you to draw the picture in.
Okay, do I need to roll anything to
Nope,
a
nope.
likeness?
Well, it
Okay.
depends how artistic is Adele.
I don't know, he's Laelese. So
Make an agility
poetry,
roll then.
Art. Okay. I would assume that it was part of his upbringing, but
I mean, sure. Like, if you don't want the free fate point,
oh my goodness.
you draw a passable drawing of the young lady.
Okay. And Adele thanks the woman on the ship and asks for her name.
She says that her name is Susan.
Oh, Susan, I am Adele. Such a pleasure to meet you. Also, I am searching for a book. I'm looking for something on the history of maybe Ord or one of the nation. You see, I have a friend, and I'm trying to purchase something for him, and you know, I'm at my wit's end trying to find such a tome.
Well,
I don't suppose you would happen to know Five Fingers?
I know it as well as any other city. I don't live here, but I'm sure that somebody that lives here would be able to point you towards somebody that sells books.
Indeed. So, where do you come from, if you don't mind my asking?
Actually, I do mind you asking.
Oh, all right then.
I prefer to keep my private life private, and my professional life professional.
Ah. Adele is also going to describe the widow from Thurian's Rest and say that if the if Susan comes about on her travels, then that would also be of great interest to Adele.
She says, if I were to find either of these individuals, so you say there's 10 gold for details of the whereabouts of the young lady. How much would be given out for details towards this elderly woman?
Maybe 7 gold, I suppose.
Okay, and how would I go about contacting you?
My business card. Yeah.
She looks at it, chuckles, and pockets it.
Wonderful.
She says, well, I'm Susan, and I find people. It's what I do. So I will look for this young woman and this older lady. And you say the last known location of the young woman was in Five Fingers?
Adele describes what he knows.
Okay.
Based on what was told to him.
And the elderly woman lives in Ord proper?
And Adele describes what he knows of the elderly lady's whereabouts. The
Okay.
noble lady.
Well,
he
I
also
won't
draws
be
the
able
family
to.
crest.
I won't be able to look extensively into the older lady, as my current business takes me into the city itself. But should I end up going further north, I will have a look and be in touch should I find anything for you.
And should you require our services, we are the Grey Lanterns Mercenary Company, and we specialise in, shall we say, specialised jobs.
Specialised jobs. Would you wish to elaborate on that? That's a very vague term.
It is. We just slew... I don't like to brag, of course. We just slew, collectively, a hull grinder which was threatening this ferry. But a few days ago, we also slew a warlock who was...
warlock is not not a term you'd use.
Okay, well, whatever the equivalent is.
You'd say a druid.
Oh, I was going to talk about the rat warlock in the sewer.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known that he was a warlock. You'd have just thought he was a hobo.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't know that he was controlling the rats. You'd think that he lives with them. You might think that he's trained them somehow, but the knowledge that he was able to connect to their little ratty minds is not something that you have. If that makes sense.
Adele does have his walking stick, though, which is magic, so he's going to describe the old man as being a magic practitioner.
I mean, you know that he used magic because you saw him cast spells.
Yes. Well, Adele describes that, and he also describes the druid chap.
She seems somewhat impressed. She says, should I ever need the services of combatants, I will bear you in mind.
Wonderful. We also serve as bodyguards and any other sort of odd jobs which need a specialised hand, whether light or heavy.
Indeed.
And Adele bids her a good night and goes back to his fellows.
Alrighty. She pulls. You see her pull the business card out of her pocket as you walk away. She chuckles, looking at it, and then puts it back in her pocket. Alrighty, so you guys are in Hospice Island now.
Okay. Just head home, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Adele comments to Constantine en route if they want to check in and look on Sam.
Can you all quickly make detection rolls for me, please? These are passive ones, so you're not actively looking for anything in particular. And therefore cannot be boosted.
And it's auto boosted.
I know. That's hyper perception. It's a different thing. Okay, fair enough. Constantine, you have the nagging sense that somebody's watching you, but you can't be sure. You often get that feeling in Five Fingers.
Can I see anyone?
You can't. You can't.
Yes, I would like to go and check in on Sam, but I wouldn't want to wake him, and it is quite late.
It is quite late.
Well, perhaps it's the next time we're down here then.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, you could leave a message for him. We could just stop in and you could write him a note.
I don't know if he can read and write.
You know that
That's
the
good.
priest was teaching him.
Right, okay. I'll leave him a note.
I seem to remember you talking about it.
Okay, I'm just going to leave him a note, just in Ordic, saying, we were thinking of you, we were passing, we wanted to check you were okay, and carry on.
Okay. Fair enough.
Never say that Adele doesn't think of anyone outside of himself.
Okay, are we going to just carry on home then?
Yeah, sure.
Move along. Oh.
Alrighty, so as you head to the bridge from Hospice Island to Captain's Island, you notice at the end of the other side of the bridge a rough, hastily made barricade.
It looks like trouble. So I'm going to say to everyone else, just be aware and try to wake up Murtar at this stage, who I assume has been sleeping, his alcohol off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to wake Murtar and tell everyone to lock and load.
Alrighty.
Adele has been keeping an eye on the wolf. Just got an 11 for that.
Okay. Are you staying on the cart?
Adele is, yes.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah, that will do perfect. Alright, I got myself a cart. So we got one of him. Oh, by the way, before you went to leave the note with the priest to give the boy in the morning, Birchwell and Joston bugger off to the pub
Yeah, fair enough.
in Hospice Island by themselves.
Wow, wouldn't you know it?
Sounds about right.
Yep, just thought I'd let you know.
So it's just Balasar and the three of us.
Yeah. One second, I'm just fiddling with something. Alrighty. So as you approach, you see a group of men at the barricade.
Can we see how many men there are?
Yes, you see one Trollkin and 6 humans.
Adele is going to call out a greeting to them and say, "Well met, fellows. We are of the Grey Lanterns. May I inquire as to this barrier's purpose here?"
You hear a booming voice call out from the Trollkin. "The Grey Lanterns, the very ones." You're exactly who we're looking for. Adele.
Wonderful. Ah, great. What can we do for you?
Surrender yourself for crimes against Five Fingers. Arsonist.
Gonna make a law roll because I really do. Actually, I'm gonna make a streetwise roll and a law roll if possible.
Yep.
Because as they've not really announced themselves as any legal agency, and I think that these are probably the Kip Street Blades. Or not.
You think that they definitely know about the bounty?
And who might you be? On what authority do you make such demands?
I have here, you can see in the dying light, because it's not pitch black yet, it's dark, but it's not that dark. And the bridge is well lit with lamps. You can see him holding up some sort of paper, but you can't read it at this distance. He says, I have here a bounty for frankly, you.
Really? And could you please describe the person on this bounty? What it actually says?
Yeah, and he reads it out, and it's a description of Adele. And it says, wanted for arson of a public house. And we know that it was you that burnt down the public tried to burn down the public house. He says, Jimmy here saw you with his own two eyes. Even heard you making speeches to locals as you put out the fire about how the great grey lanterns were this and that.
Well, I'm so glad that you consider us to be great. That's a wonderful compliment. And who might you be?
None of your business.
Oh, I see. So you're Jimmy then. So Jimmy, would you like to would you like to actually
Sorry, just realised I rolled and didn't mean to.
That's fine.
Would you like to actually confirm what it is you thought you saw? Because the description on that piece of paper, that doesn't sound like me. I mean, that fellow has dark hair, and I clearly have none. Do you see a wonderful goatee on my face? I do not. I think you might be mistaken.
You think we were born yesterday? Just because you had a haircut and shaved your face doesn't change who you are. We're not...
I'm gonna roll deception.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm gonna boost this.
Yeah, sure. Dear me. Yeah, he's not fooled. He goes, look, I know who you are. You go around shouting your mouth off all the time about your antics. Now, are you coming with me peacefully? Or am I going to have to bring you in the hard way?
Murta leans over the side, looks the guy dead in the eye and goes, right, so you really think that messing with people that killed an entire gang, that have a warjack, that have a big fuck off wolf, that has a big fuck off troll that's a lot bigger than your fucking troll, and let's be fair, mate, you know that you should be looking out for your brothers, but you, shut up, back off, fuck off, or I'm gonna fucking stab you in the fucking face, and you won't like it, and I promise I'm gonna kill you first.
Just so you know, you are quite a distance away from this guy. So...
Are we?
Yeah.
I would actually jump out and go up to his face and say all this then.
You are about 60 feet away from him.
Well, whatever.
That's why I said you couldn't read the paper in the dark across the bridge. Because you're at one end of the bridge, they're at the other end.
Is that enough time for Constantine to start firing up hodgepodge?
I mean, you can try.
It takes hours to fire up a warjack.
Not just that. Looking at his coal hopper, you notice that it's pretty much empty. You had him walk all the way through the woods, idle for part of a night, and fight in combat. Hodgepodge is running on empty.
No, it's
fantastic.
Yeah, but I would, like I said, I would still have jumped out and walked across the bridge to do that because, fuck it.
Because it's
So you want to start with yourself further out in front. Do you know what? I'm just going to put you on the page.
Yeah. Cool.
Adele is going to cast his spell on himself, the one which pushes people back if they miss.
Yep. Feel free to move your characters where you want them.
Yeah,
I
and
need sight, Tom.
Sorry?
I need sight. I've got a black screen.
Oh, right.
same for, I think, all of us probably.
I didn't realise this one had
I can
dynamic.
see.
Yeah. Coincidentally, I'll make that a boosted intimidation using intellect because that seems appropriate.
Okay.
Even though it's the lowest stat, but it's the one that seems appropriate.
Yep, sure.
That didn't go very well.
Yeah. He scoffs and says, "You may have all those fancy things, but your warjack is in the back of a cart, no doubt powered down. It'll be doing nothing."
So, to check which one was mouthing off.
It's the Trollkin.
Alright, so I'll be there because I'm assuming the two guys in front of him won't let me past.
Also, the stuff counts as a barrier.
Cool.
Right.
I don't know what the difference between a barrier and an obstacle is.
It's basically a linear obstacle,
Right.
but you can stand on it, but it counts as climbing up onto something about 3 feet high.
Yeah.
Basically, think Gears of War chest-high walls kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adele turns to Constantine and says, "Would you like me to hand myself in?"
Absolutely not.
So you've just basically said that explicitly out loud. He goes, "Right, boys, they ain't coming peacefully. It's time to do things the hard way. Roll initiative, please."
Bum, 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 bum.
What did Adele roll? Nothing.
Sorry, I got called away. Let me just roll for you.
That's fine.
That would be a 24 Tom.
Wow. And you actually got added to the sheet for the first time in like 10 weeks.
I don't know why. I've just been doing the same thing as always.
So, Marta, you get to go first.
Draw an assassin's blade, and I'm actually going to drop the Crixian Dirk into my left hand.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with just, I've made a promise, so let's try and keep it, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Slash with the Crixian Dirk at the guy to my left.
Yep.
Well, Crixian Shiv, Crixian Dirk, whichever one.
Yeah, sure.
So that's a hit.
Mm-hmm. And 2 damage.
Yeah. Sidestep up onto the barrel.
Up onto the barrel is not something you can sidestep. You'd have to climb up onto the barrel. It's 3 foot tall.
Okay. Make a climbing roll, is that? I don't know.
No, you can't do that during your sidestep move.
No. Do you mind if I completely retcon that then, and I'll just...
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to be totally honest, guys. I don't know if I'm really up to carrying on.
Do you want to call it here then?
Maybe. I'm really out of it, and yeah.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Okay. I mean, we can leave it here.
Yeah, absolutely. But just so you know, Alan, you could always just knock the guy out. You could knock both of them out and then kill the troll first. So, you know,
No,
it's
that's
always an option.
no. I just want to stop.
It's not a game thing.
I don't really want. Yeah,
so anybody watching, we're going to call this one here early. We will see you next week.